So I just watched the new Star Wars for the second time. I think that's an airplane. You can probably hear that. It's a really good microphone. Spoiler alert, by the way. Really big spoiler alert for this movie. Like, huge. So, let's jump right on into why trailers are ruining movies and why The Last Jedi isn't as bad as a lot of people say it is. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Oh, did you watch the new Star Wars trailer? Yeah, I watched it. Who do you think Snoke is talking to? Probably Rey. So, when somebody says, do you think Kylo kills Leia? Maybe. I think that means that the trailer is giving away a little bit too much. And I've noticed this like a lot more and more lately with movie trailers. Let's take the movie trailer for The Last Jedi, for example. You know what? I'm gonna watch it right now because I don't remember what it looked like, but I do remember. YouTube, and here we go.
When I found you, I saw raw,
So we have that other planet.
untamed power,
We got Kylo Ren walking in.
and beyond that,
Narration by Snoke.
something truly special.
So now we see Rey, and then I feel like I remember in that scene he was talking to Kylo Ren there. I don't remember.
Something inside me has always been there.
Okay, so now we see Luke and
And I
Rey.
was awake. And I need help.
Now Rey's training. Ooh, we see like a force crack here.
I've seen this raw strength only once before.
Oh, Luke is all
Didn't
scared.
scare me enough then.
Cuts to, oh, this part's a flashback.
It does now.
And Luke is all chicken shitting out. Kylo Ren in the elevator, all pissed off and shit.
Kill it if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Okay, so we see Kylo faking out about to shoot Leia. Fucking cord. Big explosion.
It'll light the fire.
So obviously people are dying. I mean, people die all the time. We see Phasma versus Finn.
This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
Okay,
I need someone
so Snoke
to
says
show
that.
me my place in all this.
Oh yeah, this is a fucking bait, dude. This baits me. Oh hell. Wait, there's like 10 seconds left. Oh, whatever. Okay. I know my gripe now. When you watch that trailer, it feels a lot like Snoke is gonna play a really big part in the movie. He narrates like a lot of it, like a lot of his lines show up in the trailer. And he's like a really minor character in this movie, I think. In the actual movie, it's mostly about the evolution of Rey and Kylo, which I mean I loved. I loved the way Kylo's character was portrayed in this movie. I hated Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens. So like I have to watch it again, but in The Force Awakens, he just reminds me of this like really brooding, angry, evil character, whereas like he's just really upset. He has that tantrum with the thing, and I'm just like he reminds me of like when I was in middle school. Maybe that's why I'm like having a bad response to Kylo in The Force Awakens, because he's just this kind of cringy. Anyway, in that trailer they give away like all of the really, really interesting moments. Like there's Luke and R2 looking at a burning building. Who did that? Why did that happen? When does that happen? I didn't watch this trailer before I went in to watch The Last Jedi. I recommend this, by the way. I recommend that anybody who really wants to see a specific movie, maybe it's the next Star Wars movie, avoid 100% of all of the trailers. I started doing this with movies that I really wanted to see a little while ago, and it has like vastly improved my movie going experience. I firmly believe that movie trailers and films are like completely separate arts, and they should be treated as such. I feel like movie trailers try too hard to be really, really, really condensed versions of what the actual film is. They end up taking all of the really actionable bits in a plot and like stuffing them into this 2 minute and 30-second trailer, which sets up the movie to meet these expectations that are obviously not going to be met. So like you see all the hype moments, which leaves you no hype moments to see in the actual theater. One thing they didn't show in the Last Jedi trailer is when Holdo does the light speed thing through all the ships, and I'm freaking so glad that they did not cut that into this trailer. All of a sudden she like punches it, and then the light speed things start happening, and then whoom, silence. That is gorgeous. That is like the highlight moment in the film. If they had cut that into the trailer, it would have removed the gravitas of that scene. Like, can you imagine seeing that scene, like the Star Destroyer like split in half? Oh, right, I saw that in the trailer. That's where that came from. And it removes you from that experience of sitting in the theater and going, holy fucking shit! That was like my reaction. And they let you have that, which is like so great. But what they didn't let you have was
I've seen Miss Ross strength only once before.
this flashback part right here that like happens in the movie, and it's like it's a flashback. Like the movie trailer paints it to be like something really epic happens. Like, oh, did Rey burn down the Jedi Temple that Luke started? We don't know. Was that where Luke lived? We have no idea. So the trailer just sets you up for like something that doesn't happen. Well, at least doesn't happen like in the chronology of the film. Okay, so here comes the part where we see Kylo about to blow up. Okay. This part, a lot of people complained about this part for like a number of reasons. One of them was like Leia's force thing. We won't talk about that right now. We'll talk about that later. But when you see this in the trailer, it's like, holy shit. Is Kylo gonna kill his mom the way he killed his dad? And then like you speculate the whole time, and you're just like, ah, and it just creates this dialogue that doesn't need to happen. Me totally avoiding the trailer from the get-go. Like in the moment I was like, is he gonna kill Leia? And then like he doesn't, and I'm like, oh, so there's still light in him. And then like the TIE fighters, they pew, pew, pew. This moment in the trailer where you see Kylo Ren like preparing to shoot Leia totally removes that sort of suspenseful moment from you. When I experienced that moment in the film, as it was happening, it's like a little story arc, right? We have the beginning, we have the rising action, we have the climax. Is Kylo gonna shoot the cruiser? And then like at that climax point, he decides not to. And then you're super relieved. So the problem I have with this part in the trailer, this trailer removes this suspenseful experience from you in the actual theater. When did this trailer come out? October of 2017. So like you're experiencing that amount of suspense for like months before the actual movie release. So like people, like they fight, they speculate about it, and there's all this speculation, and 0% of whatever the movie does will amount to the hype and the continued conversation that all of this suspense built up for like 2 months. No matter what happens, you should be experiencing that moment in the moment, not in the trailer. Come on. Okay, so then you see Luke saying this is not going to go how you think it's going. What does he say? The way you think. Like, who is he talking to? Because we can't see who he's talking to. So you're speculating. And like all that suspense is building again. And then the climax of that is like Rey has him at lightsaber point. He's like on the ground. And then that's when he says the line that's in the trailer that you were looking for the whole time because you saw the trailer. And then you're like, well, that's less cool than I thought it was going to be. You experience suspense, it takes away the climax from you, and you have like the falling action. And the falling action, you're just like, when it's not what you expected it to be and like what you secretly wanted it to be, you feel disappointed. It's like on Christmas, if you make a Christmas list and then they give you something totally different, you're like, oh, thanks. This is totally not what I asked for. That's like the movie trailer experience. So while it's still like a Star Wars movie and like you still get a bunch of Star Wars stuff, it's just not what you wanted. And instead, imagine like not expecting anything at all, like expecting zero Christmas gift, and then like when Christmas comes, somebody totally random's like, hey, here's a really cool thing. And you're like, wow, a really cool thing. I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, that's how I approach movies now. Seriously, don't watch movie trailers. Destiny. Okay, so and then in like the fulfill your destiny part, we see Rey like like being force tortured or whatever, and then we're like, is he saying fulfill your destiny in that scene? Like he's like trying to force break her like a kyber crystal. Like you know how like canonically Sith people have to force kyber crystals will to break. That's why they only have red lights. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
I need someone.
Okay. So like at a new beat point in the trailer, Rey says, I need someone to show me my place in all of this. And then it cuts to Kylo. It cuts to Kylo doing this. And like the lighting situations look vaguely similar. So it's like, oh shit, is she talking to Kylo? Is Kylo gonna be her master now? What the hell is going on? Does she give up? Does she become a Sith? So that those two scenes again set the precedent for something that's not gonna happen in the movie. And you're just like, that's not what I expected to happen. Like the scenes in trailers are strung together so that they tell a possibly interesting narrative, and then your brain like puts things together. Whoa, maybe this is gonna happen. Maybe that's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, to recap, there is the starting point. You have the rising action, and then at the top of the rising action, you have the climax, and at the climax, you have the falling action, aka resolution, and then there you have the end of the narrative. So it looks like this, right? Whoop. And that is like the whole enjoyment of watching a film or reading a book or enjoying a narrative period. And what movie trailers are doing to you unwittingly, they're taking one part of this little plot arc right here and they're giving you that part of the arc. Trailers give you either the suspense part or the climax part. And they're saying, here, chew on this for like several months. And then like you sit there with your one part of the plot arc and you're like, wow, thanks. What happens now? And then for months you're sitting there like, I think this is going to happen, or I think this is going to happen. And that ends up not happening, and then you're like disappointed that you were wrong. The climax will never live up to what you set yourself up for in the first place. Which sucks, because when you experience that in real time in the movie theater, it's so much more satisfying of an experience. But trailers don't allow for that. Trailers give you way too much. Like in Suicide Squad or Rogue One, trailers almost bait and switch you, like accidentally. Just Just cuz. If you'll just humor me, anybody watching this, anybody at all who like thought, man, The Last Jedi didn't live up to the hype, go in 100% blind for any movie that you ever want to see from here on forward. Because trailers give you too much. An example of a really good trailer, I think Dunkirk had a terrific teaser trailer. And the first one that I saw, and it was like the only one I saw until I looked it up on YouTube. And then the bulk of the trailer was this. It's so much cooler. Like, they give you one really tasty moment. And you're like, holy shit, what happens there? Like, imagine if in the Last Jedi trailer, all you saw was Luke walking out onto the planet surface, that salt planet surface, and then over his shoulder, you see Kylo ignite his lightsaber, and then you see Kylo like run towards Luke. But if you just saw a chunk of that, you just saw the confrontation between Luke and Kylo, and that was all you saw for the trailer, that would be so hype. And it just leaves so much more of the film to enjoy. And even if that one moment doesn't live up to the hype, the rest of the movie is totally unexpected. Movie trailers' job is to get people excited to watch the movie, not excited because they watched the movie in 2.5 minutes. You know? So yeah, don't watch movie trailers anymore.